it's real. It's a real thing. And how do people overcome that is the question before us. Lay it on us, Stacie.
All right, everybody. I do a lot of talking about this. Yes, it's real. And yes, you could take it off the table. But you've got to be cognizant. So there's two levels to this. First, there's age bias in your collateral. I see it all the time. So that needs to be addressed. And then age bias comes in how you present yourself. All right. So a few things to remember, and then I'll give you a couple specifics. Okay. The first thing to remember is you want to present yourself all the way around as current in today's world, because that's the job you're taking on. So you want to take age bias out of your resume. A few examples. I see people put in, even today, if you put an address, a street address on your resume, that's no longer current. Nobody is mailing you anything. There's a little sign. Even an AOL address, people will react to that. That's old world. Things like dates on degrees. Every single person who's listening knows when you see a date on a degree, wherever it is, every human being on the planet stops and figures out how old you are. Everybody. So I say, take it off the table. It's irrelevant. Have your degree there that you got a degree, but you don't need the year that you graduated. You just need to know you graduated, not the year. So there are many things on your collateral that signal to people you're not current. I've seen people write email and then their email address. People know what an email address is. So those are the little things that pile up ageism when people see it. All right. So there are ways, and we do it all the time at ExecuNet when we're working on collateral, of just getting that off the table. It does not have to be there. So it's the way you present yourself. One thing I'll mention, Tony, because I think of this all the time. Remember, everybody, really what you did 20 years ago or 30 years ago, that's not what's going to get you the job today. That is part of who you are. And when we do value propositions and branding, of course, that's weaved in to who you are today. But particularly in IT, I hear people say, well, I've been in IT 30 years. 30 years ago doesn't exist today in the IT world. 10 years ago, it's different. So, Tony, to answer your question, and everybody's question is, your collateral is key to getting ageism off the table. Your LinkedIn profile, you could get ageism off the table. And then when you present yourself, it's all about being present in today's world. And what could you do for me today?
Could
Does
we
that help, Tony?
elaborate? It does. And that last piece, I think that's really important because you shared with us some defensive tactics we could take. But as one of our coaches loves to say, let's go on the offensive with your age, make it a plus. And you just said it, I believe, which is leverage your collateral to tell your value story in a way that helps them see the difference you can make, not so much how old you are, right?
It is all about, and that's when we work with folks, we weave your entire career. What is it about you that you bring to the table everywhere that people want you for? That's what people are looking for. I mean, there is an advantage, obviously, of having 20, 30 years experience. And that is realized in a lot of who you are as a manager and how you relate to people and the experiences that you learn. It doesn't mean that 20 years ago, the technology used in IT is applicable today to talk to about an interview, but it's who you are. And that's why when you get to the executive level, I love honing in on who are you as a person from these years in your career and talk to what you bring to the table in today's world. How do you apply it today? You know, the old adage in sales, you're only as good as your last sale, right? So even in executive search and executive job, what can you do for me in today's world? But talk to me as a person who's learned a lot in their career and could apply it now.